Hi everybody, sorry for the delay there. Not too sure what's going on with our connection today, but we're up and running now. Okay, so for those of you who don't recognise my voice, I'm Ollie, and we'll be covering analysis reporting with the main aim of the session to provide you with the skills to manipulate your data and build your perfect reports for your business. So if you've got any questions, I think Mike and Calum are on the chat today, or during the session or after the session. There'll be someone on the chat either way. Okay, so first of all, with the reports, we've got sales analysis. So that's based on, as you can see on screen, authorized sales order figures. So this is perfect for seeing kind of what's yet to be invoiced, what's on back order, kind of seeing figures that aren't actually true figures, if you like, because they've not been invoiced yet, but to give you kind of a general view of kind of what's expected to be coming in. We're also going to be going through invoice sales analysis, so same as sales analysis, but it's based on true invoice figures. With those reports, I'll go through those in a bit in terms of what reports you can get out there in terms of product usage, customer spend, and viewing by customer or by all customers in a list. And we'll also be going through invoice purchase analysis as well. So a really good tool to use with your account managers to kind of negotiate better deals on certain products, or even if it's just seeing spends and trends with certain suppliers, where you're buying your classifications for toners from, where you're getting your paper from. You can view all that in the reports by manipulating the data. Okay, so I'll go live now and show you my screen. So within your Prima, you go to reports and analysis, and then in the analysis reports, you've got a different kind. So we're looking at the standard for now, and then when you've built your reports, you'll save them as a copy, which will then be your custom copies as reports in the system. So if I just show you my custom copies now, if I search for that, I've got a list of reports there. So I've built over time, current month sales forecast by account manager, product classifications, particular company, product usage reports. So there's plenty of different things you can build by just the one or the three reports we'll be going through today. Okay, so we'll start off in the sales analysis ones. That's the not invoiced ones and just the authorized sales orders. So what you can also do is by the module, you can select what kind of report you wanted to look at. So if you look for all reports and then you wanted to look for the purchase order ones or sales order ones, for example, you can do that within here. So we don't really need to for the analysis ones because there's only 4 sheets, but just a tip for the reports. So sales analysis, I'll just open a copy of that. So with the standard reports, at first you'll see the reports as kind of a lot of data to take in. It looks more complicated than it actually is. So if I try and whittle it down for you, so if you strip the report down and look at just purely this left hand side here, you've got what's called attributes and measures. So this is basically what you can and can't have in the report that you're working in at the time. So with the attributes, if I just click on that little plus sign there, you'll be able to see now, if I drag that across, what you can and can't put into this report. So at the moment you can see the account code and company name are already in the report, and if we go down to the measures, the likes of the net and the net margin are already in the data and showing in your report as well. So it's just literally a case of dragging and dropping these fields around as to the liking you want them to be. So what you can do, so for example, a sales report, so if we're looking at the likes of the status one, so we wanted to see what's not yet been invoiced this month, for example. So what we could do there is if we remove the account code, remove the company name, and then you can see then literally everything for August, this is the figure for the authorized sales orders. But if you scroll down, you've got the likes of product classification, nominals, order sources, but for this particular report, we'll look for status. So if I drag that into the rows, you'll be able to see then, okay, so currently sales orders that are allocated, this is what the figure is for delivered, for invoiced, order requested, etc. So you can see kind of what's expected to be coming in. What you can also do with the report, so if you prefer to see the month along the rows or the measures, for example, you can drag and drop those as you like it, so you can see they're allocated and the net margin alongside each other as well. If you wanted to see other kind of things in the report, you can put in the quantity to be expected to be going out, or I don't know, stock code or something. You can put all those in the report as well, but for this first report I'm just building, it's literally just for authorized orders and you can see the figures there as to kind of what's going or going to be coming into yourselves. So what you do then, so if you're happy with the report, you can click save as, and then save as a custom copy. So you might want to call it I don't know, status analysis or something like that. You can save a copy, and then you've got a custom copy to refer back to each month, or you can set up an automated routine to receive this report daily or weekly or monthly, whatever it might be. Okay, so that's for the sales order one. You can jazz it up as well, which I'll go through some of these fields at the top here as well as the session goes on, and you can tidy up the reports as well. So yeah, so with this sales order one, the main report I'd say to use, the sales analysis sheet 4, would be purely for this kind of information, so seeing what's coming into yourselves. For those of you who haven't used the report before, the criteria tab here is basically where you can go into to look for particular companies, and also an authorization date or a date criteria if you're using the invoice figures ones as well. Okay, so coming on to the invoice sales analysis, so this is the one where I'll show you mainly how to kind of drag and drop different data fields in. So invoice sales analysis. Okay, so another mugshot of myself, which Callum's mocked up this morning. So the invoice sales analysis. So various reports can be created by manipulating the data. So some of the reports hit below what we'll be covering. So take a screenshot of this as well and make notes if you want to. So basically, product usage. So you can do it by customer or product usage in general. So if you wanted to see kind of your highest stock lines or what your customers always getting off yourselves. Customer spend, so view your customer spending trends, as it says on the tin. Sales report by account manager, so there's an option there for your commission reports. So some use or prefer the PDF type reports for commission, but with this report you can, if you're paying them on profit or you're paying them on margin, you can drag and drop those data fields in and have it specific to yourselves. Classification and gap analysis, so reports particularly useful for analysing potential areas such as your top and bottom classification. So if one customer is always buying paper off you and you're quite good at selling furniture, if that's a bottom classification, then you can quickly identify then kind of a need or somewhere to target with that particular customer. And then contract spend, so you can push customers towards the contract prices, or if they're not buying much of a product, you can kind of negotiate higher margins or something along those lines. And then order source reporting, so trying to push your customers towards your most profitable source. So if your highest profit source is coming from the web store, then you can see on your report then, well, all these customers here are putting everything through the email, why aren't they buying online? And you can then identify that to push them onto using your web store. Okay, so go back to the live page, and then okay, so invoice sales analysis. So if I open that one, quite a few of these reports lead onto other ones in that list I was going through there. So for example, when you build the customer spend one, it's literally you can drag and drop an account manager in, and then that's your account manager report pretty much ready for you to use. So in the report, so as I was saying before, strip it down onto the left hand side. This is everything that you're going to be putting into your report. So with the attributes, what I'm wanting on this report, I'd probably say is we don't need the account code on the company name, so I'll just get rid of the account code. I want to see the net margin, and I also want to see the profit. So from here I can say, right, okay, put the profit in, and if you really wanted to, you could put the cost in there as well. So I'll put the cost in, and then from there then you can see the cost net margin. So if you prefer to see them alongside each other, you can drag the measures into the row, and that way then it's probably more of a neater way to view it. And then yeah, so per company, quick way to do that. If you're wanting to arrange the data so the highest is at the top, or if you're wanting to filter out certain companies, what you can do is you can either use a criteria to look for one particular company, but if you're wanting to filter out, say for example, I only want to look at these three, you can right click on your data, or on your attribute rather. So right click on that, and then you've got a few options within here which I'll go through during the session. But if we click on the show quick filter on your right hand side, then you'll have a filter then to say, right, okay, well, I don't want to see all of them, I just want to see the cash sales, Athlone Town and Dundalk, or I don't even know how to say that. But yeah, you can view all those, and you can even put totals against them as well. So you can right click against the company, which is going to be for all of them, display totals, and then at the bottom there you can see, right, okay, well all these 3 companies are giving me this total, and you can view it that way as well. Okay, sales reports by account manager. So similar report to this, so it's just a case of dragging your account manager in, I guess, from there. So if I just put them all back into the grid, and then I can say, right, okay, well let's put the account manager into here. If I put it in front of the company name, so if you're wanting to have them in front or behind the company name, as you can see there, the little arrow is coming up. You can see to drag it and drop it into that little area. So I'll drag it in ahead of the company. So then from there, then you can put a filter on those instead of the company names if you wanted to. So I'll just get rid of that quick filter by right clicking and clicking on that. And then I want to filter out the account managers instead. So show the quick filter, and I only want to have a look at Molly. Okay. So looking at Molly, as you can see then, right, okay, so she's selling to Molly Stationery & Co. and nobody else. But if it was a user like, let's have a look. Everyone's selling to the one user. So if we're using Ian Buckley, for example, you can see then 2 companies, but I'm not actually that interested in seeing where he's selling to. I just want to see his profit. So you can drag and drop, get rid of the company name, get rid of the cost or whatever, and just see the profit. You can do, and then you can save as custom copy. So when you click save as, you then rename it, so it could be account manager or Ian's sales, or if you're doing this each month and then each time working out your account manager, you can do. And you can save a custom copy of that and have that as well. In terms of the actual design of the report, I'll go through that in a bit, but you can add titles to this as well, which from your cards here, so just this one, you can add a title, so you can add descriptions and other stuff as well if you wanted to. So you can add a title of, and then give it a title saying Ian's sales by month, for example, and then you can save it. When you save that as a custom copy, that title will be in there straight away then. So if you're confused as to what report you've opened, you can put a title on, and you can amend the colours and everything, but again I'll go through that at the end of the session. Okay, classification and gap analysis. So I can still do it within the same sheet, but just for training purpose I'll close it down and come from a fresh sheet. Okay, so classification. So from the attributes again, you're going to be looking for classification, or product classification rather. So I want to see product classification as a row, drag that in, get rid of the account code. So you can view this by company, so you can see, right, okay, well this particular company is buying business gifts, computer accessories, delivery, etc. And then from there, then you might be able to identify a potential gap. But otherwise, what you can do as well, if you wanted to see just literally what your top and bottom classifications are, you can drag the company name out and then view literally just your adhesive and say books and pads all alongside each other with the totals. You can see there it's just done in alphabetical order, but what you can do, if you wanted to sort on a particular value or anything like that, you click onto the area you're wanting to sort on. So you click on your classification, click on the sort, and then if you go to more sort options, you then got the option as to how you're going to be sorting this data. So let's say we want it descending, so click on descending, go to field, and then I want to sort on the net. So these are looking at all the measures on your left hand side here. So if you dragged in the quantity and you wanted to see a product usage report, for example, which I will go through shortly, you can do so. If we sort on net, hit OK, and then you can see then straight away there's your top ones, and if you want to, you can scroll down to the bottom, you can see what the bottom is as well. And if you want to see the total for everything, then you can right click and display totals, which will show at the bottom then. Okay, yeah, so main purpose seeing, you can see the top and bottom classifications, and if you want to, you can throw your company name back in as well if you wanted to look at specific companies. So throw the company in front of the classification, and then you can right click, show a quick filter, and then from there you can say, right, okay, well I'm not interested in seeing all of them, just give me Molly Stationery Co. And you can see straight away, well, she's buying loads of files, pockets and binders, but she's not buying X, Y and Z. Okay, Product usage. So again, I'll start from a separate sheet. Start again. So you can build them from the same one, but if you put a few sort or kind of sort options on there, it might just be easier to start again. So if I go to attributes and I want to have a look at stock codes for the usage one, so drag and drop the stock code in. And what also may happen is, depending on what you've got set in your criteria, so if you've got your criteria set to look at everything this year, when you drag and drop something new in, it might say, or give you an error message to say there's more than 1,000 records going to be coming into this grid. So as you can see, there's a lot of data in there. So for example, when I throw this in, it's probably going to say the error. Okay, yeah, so by request more than 1,000 records have been received. So what you can do, if you're building a large report with a lot of data, rather than dragging and dropping stuff in, clicking yes, waiting for it to execute, you can do a little trick from here, is basically the auto query. So if I take that off and keep dragging and dropping stuff in, it's not going to prompt me to keep refreshing it each time, and then when I'm ready for it, I can say, right, okay, hit the query, and then that'll then run the full report again to finish it off. So that's just if you're building a big report with a lot of data in. So we don't actually need stock description. I just thought I'd show you that one. So what you can do, again, probably you don't need the account code as well as the company name, so you can see, right, okay, this is the stock code alongside the companies in the net. But if you want to see the usage, if I throw the quantity in there, you might want to see the net and margins and everything, but if you just get rid of those for now, and then you can see literally then the total, the products, and the company as well. So if you wanted to have a look at, for stock purposes, for example, you might want to see just a product usage report for just your stock codes. You can get rid of your company name and see then, right, okay, this is the product. So again, it's not sorted, so first of all we can click into the stock code, sort and more sort options, select descending, select the field that you want to be sorting by, which is going to be quantity, hit OK, and then straight away you can see, right, okay, whatever this unspecified product is, using a lot of it, this is the next one, this is the next one, etc, etc. So a way to build your product usage report that way. What you can also do, rather than just showing it by that, you can have a look at your companies that are using the most products. So you can throw the company name in there, and then from there, from this particular view, you can see, right, okay, this product has gone to Bang Restaurant the most, or you can scroll across, have a look at that, right click and show a quick filter, and say, right, okay, well, I'm not interested in all of them, I just want to see Bang Restaurant, and this is where all the product usage is going from. Okay, another thing you can do in the product usage is to see whether it's currently on contract. So if I scroll up on this attributes, there's an option for currently on contract there. So if I throw that in next to the stock code, you can see then, right, okay, these top lines here aren't actually on contract, they've not agreed a price with them, but they're using them the most, and this one is. So you can see then straight away if you need to negotiate a better price on something, or so on and so forth, and you can filter on whether it's on contract or not as well by using the quick filter. With the contract spend as well, not just for product usage purpose, you can use it for pushing your customers rather towards contract items. So what you can do there, so if I say probably just put the net in there and get rid of the quantity, you can see then, right, okay, we've already filtered Bang Restaurant, but if we put them all back in, and then if we want to sort on the current on contract, then you can say, right, okay, well, I don't want to see the ones that are on contract, I want to see what's not. And then from there, then if there's some big spenders, you might want to I don't know, put them on contracts and agree some prices, or if there's a low price on there, agree better margins or something along those lines. But you can filter on whatever you're wanting to find out and use the filters and the sort options. Okay, order source reporting. So I'll create a new sheet for this one. So just going back to the standard report each time. So from here, let's go to the attributes, and then what I'm going to be doing is looking at the order sources in particular. So if I drag that into the rows, and then you can see it by company. So what might be the best view is if I get rid of account code and company name, and then straight away then you can see, right, okay, all of July, if you've got your order sources as forcing your users to enter them when they authorize an order, you can see straight away then this is how much is coming by the phone, this is coming by email, this is coming through your web store, whatever it may be, internet rather, and straight away you can see then and identify what your most popular one is. So you can see the net and net margin. You might want to see what's your most profitable. So if you're making more profit on the web store, you definitely want to push them through to use that. If you're making more by your reps or something specific to your business, you might want to target those particular areas. And as I was mentioning before, you can drag the measures into your rows if you want to see probably a clearer view for each one as well. Okay, in terms of kind of jazzing the report up, making it look a bit more neater, some of these options at the top here, so I'll go through this first one for the format, is the colours. So with the headers format, for example, if I click in there and I say, right, okay, well, I don't want the back colour to be this colour, this weird grey, I want it to be white, and I want the forecolour to be black, click OK, and that'll then update your kind of reports, look a bit neater, I think. You can do the same with your totals format and your data sales format as well if you want to. Grid settings, so there's different settings you can have in the grids. Go to your cards, so this is basically everything around the side. So you can see there the columns is here, the rows is here, the pages, the data, the filters, level of detail, encoding. So most of these you probably won't use. So let's say for example we'll get rid of encodings, we'll get rid of pages, get rid of level of detail, so it just makes it look a bit more neater. And the ones that you're not using, it's more easy on the eye, I'd say. And then if you're wanting to put a title in from your cards or your description or your summary or something, you can add that in as well. So this one is the order source report, and then when you save that as a custom copy, you can call it the order source report, and then when you come in, this is the view then you're going to see. With these as well, you can toggle the shelves. If you want to hide everything, you can hide that, or if you wanted to hide the whole thing and just see the data, you can do so as well. And then switch around the views as well. You can swap the rows and the columns around. Okay, I'll go through a few more tips at the end in terms of exporting into Excel and stuff like that and printing out, but we'll now move on to the purchase analysis, and then at the end I'll just show you some of the custom reports that I've built as well. Okay, so invoice purchase analysis. So again, as I was mentioning before, you can search by module, or you can see it in the grid here and sort by, but we'll go into that invoice purchase analysis, and I'll just show you the mock-up that Callum's nicely designed for us. Okay, so perfect for looking at the likes of usage or a tool to negotiate better prices on your products. So similar, well, exactly the same as the reports we've just gone through there in the invoice sales analysis. You've got your attributes and your measures in terms of dropping them into the report. So it's a good way of viewing where your purchases are coming from, trends and spends with your suppliers, and just generally manipulating the data in the system. Okay, so I'll open up the invoice purchase analysis, and then straight away then you can see it looks as though it's been updated for spices. So I'll just go to the criteria, and then I want to have a look at everything, or every single supplier rather, for August. I'll just keep it as August, but you can put a date range on there if you wanted to, so a certain range, a certain month, certain year, certain fixed period, so this week, last month, etc. this year. You can enter that in as well. So going back to the analysis sheet, and then from there you can see there's absolutely nothing for August, so that's not a good one. So if we'll just do everything with 2017, probably better. Okay, so got your likes of Antalis, spices, VOW, etc. into your report. So if you're wanting to see I don't know, where your purchases are coming from straight away, you might want to just get rid of the purchase units because you're not interested in that. You might want to get rid of the product group, the classifications, and then from there then you can see, right, okay, the account code, the nominal, this is where everything's coming from, and then you can see the cost, the quantity. If you want to put in some more information such as purchase order numbers, if you want to get into real detail, stock codes, descriptions, and then whatever other options you've got along your side here, such as supplier codes, supplier notes, or if you're using a particular supplier reference with likes of the NHS or something, you can throw those in, and then you can get a lot of detail in the report basically. So from this one you can see, right, okay, well from Antalis this is how much stationery and how much it's costing me. From Spices I'm getting 7 times as much for a better price or something, and then you can negotiate them with your suppliers. Usage, so the quantity, if you just didn't want to see the cost, you can get rid of that and just see literally, okay, well I want to see buy stock code or supplier code, whatever it is, kind of what you're getting and where you're getting it from, and the information alongside it. So if you're always getting this K34001 from Val, for example, that might be a tool then that you can negotiate a better pricing, because you can say, right, okay, this is how much I bought off you in January for this cost, can you do me a better price, or something along those lines. Okay, that's pretty much it for the how to manipulate the data. I think it's quite self-explanatory once you've gone through a few in terms of the attributes on your left hand side is what you can and can't have in the report. Your measures is the data that you can have in here, and then in terms of the tips that I can go through with you, you can clear the layout completely, start afresh, print preview, copy, export. So this is quite a popular one, so you can export it into an Excel spreadsheet. So it's quite similar to one of the Office products such as Word or something, with in terms you can undo, you can toggle, put cards in. There's different ones in here as well, so you can edit the layout, you can save it as a custom copy if you want to use this report again. But in terms of some of the reports that I've built previously, let's look at the custom reports. So current month sales forecast analysis, this is quite a neat one that I was doing before. So within here you can see, put a title in there. I've got rid of most of my cards in here as well. You can see then straight away this is the figures, and more than likely now that I've got this set up as a custom copy, I don't really need to come into Premium to collect it. I can just get an automated routine to send this report to my inbox straight away. So in terms of the colours and stuff, just use the format, and you can export it and everything as well. Okay, I think that's pretty much everything for today. If you have got any questions, I'm happy to stay around and answer them. If you're interested in one-on-one training on reports, if you want to get something more specific to your business, then more than happy to book in some time and go through that as well. Okay, so yeah, ask any questions on the chat. Thanks for your time, and I hope you all have a great weekend. See you next week.